Hi, welcome to this month's episode of Tech Spark. My name is Will, and I'll be your host for today. I'm joined here by my colleague Brian, Meanwell's head of engineering. Together, we will be going over the latest and greatest from our new product lineup.
Okay, yes. Hi, my name is Brian. So Will and I were going to introduce some of the new products that we just released recently. Okay.
So we'll kick off today's episode by bringing back a blast from the past. It's a new take on our classic enclosed SC1000 in the form of the new LRS 1200 watts. If you're following along on our website, you can find this product SKU in product hall A1 for enclosed devices. Next, we will be going over our new energy storage series in the form of our online UPS system. You can reference this product SKU in product hall C3 for green technology. Finally, we will introduce our new portable power station. You can reference this product SKU as well in product hall C3 for green technology.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, you can Meanwell now have C1, C2, C3 hall. So the last two, the two ES product series is a new product line that is not really like typical what we usually do. Okay, let's jump into it. Okay, the first one is the LRS series. Okay, sorry about that. So this LRS series is an add-on or an extend to our LRS entire series. So now it's up to 1200 watts. So we have 35 watt up to 600 watt. Now this unit is going to make it to 1200 watt. It's one of Meanwell high cost performance product series. Okay, so the input voltage is make it all the way up to 305. Okay, so in America here we can do it can take 208 and 277. Okay, so if you have customer need an enclosed type power supply that is 277 and certified, this unit is certified to 277. However, it doesn't do 120. Okay, because the product manager decided not to do 120 because high power is like 200 watt. The chance to use at 120 is not really high. Okay, that's why we give up 120, but we have 277 for it. Okay, and another feature that we now add on to the products is the conformal coating. Okay, this units come with conformal coating. Okay, and so you don't have to do any like MOQ or modify. The next one is the constant current. Okay, the feature of the output is constant current and also able to handle up to 100% peak power for 5 seconds. Okay, and so those are usually for motor and cap. Another feature that we add on to the power supply that have built-in fans is the fan noise. Okay, starting this LRS 1200 as well as the NHP series. Okay, products that has a DC fan, we're gonna add the fan noise onto the spec because customer feedback, they want to know what is the fan noise. So for this particular unit, okay, at 10% low, okay, the fan noise is 45 dB. Okay, and when you increase the load, the temperature internally increase, the fan speed will increase, and the noise is at 53 dB. Okay, so what is that telling you the dB? 45 dB is basically similar to a library. Okay, quite like the noise level like inside a library, and 53 is just like a normal at home conversation. It's like 53 dB. Okay, we are trying to not to make it over 60. Okay, 60 it become like annoying. Okay, so fan speed 60 is the target that we don't want to go over. Okay, so starting this product series or the new enclosed type fan built power supply will have this kind of spec. Okay. And the next one is the power density. Okay, this unit, the power density is very high. Okay, because we're using the same enclosure as the LRS 600. If you guys seen the LRS 600, this is the same size. Okay, which make the power upgrade, double the power output. Okay, and last one is the regulatory. This unit is not just this one. Multiple recently you see the LOP. You see in the NGE we apply for multi-field certification, meaning the unit can be used for many different fields. Okay, beside the 6236A ITE audio equipment, and it's going to 6155A, which is popular to be used in Europe for industrial control like battery charger or robotic charging. Okay,
I think a lot of our viewers in the audience here might have some questions regarding the conformal coating for the PCB. Is this an extra feature we charge for?
It comes with the unit, so mean will absorb the cost. In the past, usually you ask for a conformal coating, we have to use you have to buy with MOQ and then the additional cost on top of it. But for this LRS 1200, it's covered it.
Okay. So it's free.
Yeah,
it's a feature that's just baked into the product.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So those are the feature of the LRS 1200, and I also put on a slide to compare the LRS 1200 and the SE 1000. Okay, so blue is what you see, the different, the 1200 is 1200 watt, and you can do up to 305. Okay, like I said earlier, 208 and 277 in North America, or 240 is gonna be fine. Okay, and efficiency you see is pushed 5% higher, 6% higher as compared to the SE, because SE is like what 20 years, technology. Okay, we're done 20 years ago. Okay, and so with what we have right now, the efficiency can push up to like 6-7% more. Okay, and the peak power is also what we have on top of it, and operational temperature. Okay, it can go up all the way up to 70 C. Okay, and regulatory safety certification. I mentioned about 62368. Beside that, it had a lot of certification for different countries. Okay, CQC for China, BSMI for Taiwan, RCM for Australia, KC mark for Korean, and BIS for India. Those are come with the unit. Okay, especially RCM. Okay.
Cool. Can I ask why there are two different types of safety certifications mentioned here, the 61556 versus the 62368?
So the difference is 62368 is more like for audio, industrial application. 61558 is not really popular in US, but in Europe. If you have machinery, industrial, or if you have a battery, you want to do industrial battery charger, they want you to do that kind of certification. They will ask your power supply to have this certification. If you don't, they won't certify the entire equipment. So that is the main difference.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the last item is the dimension. Okay, you see the dimension compared to the SE is very small. Okay, it's 1 U high, and then the SE is 2 U high. The length and the width are much smaller. Okay.
I'm doing some quick math here, and if I'm doing it right, 150% peak power of 1200 watts, it's 1800 watts?
Yeah, 1800. I mean, yeah, it can do up to 1800.
So what happens if you run this 1200 watt device over 1800 watts?
Good question. So if you do over 1800 watts for more than 5 seconds, the unit is going to shut down itself. Okay. It's going to go into protection itself.
So there's a 5-second rule.
Yeah, that's a 5-second rule. I have another slide. The next slide will explain more about it.
Okay.
Okay. Here is the how the peak power and 5-second rule work. So this feature, not just this unit, we have a lot of units does this. Now have this feature. The goal is that the customer doesn't need to spend 1800 watt power supply instead of just a 1200 watt for some applications such as motor, because motor usually draw peak power when they start up. Okay, so how this one works is, as long as your average power after your peak is 1200 watt and less than 5 seconds, you're good to use. So it's basically help you to save cost. So let's say if the motor pull 1800 watt, then you might have to go to like an RSP 2000. Okay, to meet the 1800 watt demand. But with this one, with this feature, the LRS 1200 can do 5 seconds, so it's just enough for the motor. Okay, just remember, as long as the average power is 1200 watt, you're good to go. Okay,
cool. So outside of just starting a motor, are there any other applications or use cases you can use 5 seconds of this peak power for?
Another one is cap. Okay, some application has high capacitive load, a bank of capacitor. Okay,
so cap stands for capacitor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the cap usually duration is much less than the motor. Okay, cap maybe much shorter in terms of 2-3 milliseconds. So cap is another application. Okay.
What happens if you go over this 5-second rule?
Oh, still like it's going to shut down.
It's going to shut down.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 seconds and it shuts down.
So next one is couple of the application. Okay, so the left one is industrial automation. You know, it's fit into the industrial machinery, drying motor called conveyor belt. And then on the right-hand side is the LED displays. Okay, because for indoor use, LIS is very well known with LED displays application. Okay, because the cost performance of the unit, and with this high power, is the customer only need to use one unit and then power the entire site. Okay.
Okay. So we have the industrial automation and our indoor LED displays, two bread and butter industries for Meanwhile. Outside of these two industries and applications, what would you use the LRS 1200 for over the SC 1000?
There are more. I mean, industrial like testing machinery, laser as well, and some
Lasers.
Yeah,
Okay.
would do this.
So high power. So anything that's high powered.
Yeah.
Okay. Does this mean we're phasing out the SC 1000 then?
Actually, SC 1000 is NRND already. So
wow.
you guys, if you guys have new projects, suggest the LRS 1200 instead of the SE 1000. It's basically on the NRND list already. Okay.
Cool.
So so that's all for the LRS series. Okay, and we are going to move on to another new product series.
Yeah, so next up we have our new online UPS system, which is available in two different form factors, RL for rack and TL for tower.
Okay. So this one is we call it an ESTU.SU series. Okay, what ES stand for is an energy storage. Okay, and we call this it's being called as an online UPS. Okay, meaning it's an AC in AC out UPS product. It's not like a typical DRS series, a DRC series, which is the DC UPS, but this product is an AC UPS. Okay, people call them online because it's a double converter. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So what does double converter mean?
It means it had an AC to DC, and then it had an inverter built in, so it had a D to A. I have another slide later.
So AC to DC and then DC to AC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I have another slide later explaining how it works. You'll be more clear. But for this product series, we have 3,000 watt VA up to 10,000 VA. I showed it to the ES-TU 6K and the SU 6K for this introduction because these two models are UL certified. Okay, the other tab they are not suitable for US because they are Europe. They only have the European certification. Okay, and the TU stand for 3 phases. SU stand for single phases. Okay, and so AC input, the TUs, like mentioned earlier, it's neutral. It's a dual phase, 2 hot line. Usually it's like 120 and 208 or 120 and 240 in US. Okay, the SU version is a single phase. Okay, 176 to 300 VAC. Okay, that the AC input. So if you know the application is line to neutral, you have to use the SU.
Yes.
Okay, if the application need a dual phase output, then the TU is what's suitable for. Okay, for the it has PFC of 0.9 because it has the built-in AC to DC converter. Okay, and for the output, it's going to be the same as the input because it's UPS, right? And on top of that, user can set the output voltage as well, meaning that let's say if you input voltage is 120 208 in US, okay, you can set the output to be 120 240 output. Okay. And the frequency can also change from 50 to 60 hertz as well, or 60 in fact to 50. Okay, but that's going to be in a very special operation mode, allow you to do it. Okay.
This model on the screen here, is that an SU or a TU?
This model is a TU.
Okay.
This model is it's a gray color, so it's TU. Okay. The battery type here is very different than what we've seen. It's a 9 mAh battery, those small one, 9 mAh battery, 12 volt, and you have to use a lot of them. You have to use like 16 to 20 of them in series. Okay, and why we have to do that? Okay, I go over it later. But for the TUs, special here is that you have to use 2 pole, plus 12 and negative 12, because the output is dual phase. That's why you need to choose different bank of battery. Okay, and the SU is a single phase. That's why you only need a 12 volt. And of course, the voltage, the charging voltage and charging current are programmable. Okay,
Okay.
they're programmable. And efficiency-wise, it had 3 different modes: AC mode, battery mode, or backup mode, and the eco mode. Okay, they're different efficiency. I will go over those modes later. Okay, but 97 eco mode is what we use it just to operate. Okay, and you see on the screen it also has an LCD display. Okay, that's gonna tell you what is the input, what is the output, and then you can do some remove control monitor, like set the voltage, set the frequency, control remotely. Okay, so so that is the most feature of the ES energy storage. Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, it can be set to operate in different modes. Okay, with different modes. One of the popular one of the modes it had is a bypass mode. So I have a drawing here. The bypass mode is you see earlier like double converter. You see it had the main on the left, have a rectifier, you have an inverter. Okay, that's why you call it double converter or online UPS. It had the A to D and the D to A, and then it's also had a battery and then go to the load. So under bypass mode, you see how the power flow in the blue line. It's AC in, and then it charges the battery, and then it's bypass both rectifier inverter and go directly to the load. Okay, and when your AC is out, okay, it's going to go to UPS mode or battery mode. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you explain what high loss versus low losses and what V and F are?
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go over here. So it's allow you to, so high loss and low loss, meaning it allow user to set the window voltage, okay, of the AC input where it's out of the bypass mode. Okay, for example, if your nominal input is 208, okay, you can set the high loss or low loss to like 190. Okay, high loss to 230. And certainly if the AC power line is fluctuate, okay, down to 180 or above 240, it's gonna skip the bypass mode. It's gonna stop the bypass mode and go to inverting mode. So it's really suitable for some application where like user want to set the window to not to bypass. Okay, and same as the frequency. If the frequency out of the range, okay, that you set, it's also out of the bypass mode. Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you're doing this on the LCD display screen?
Either on the LCD display or by the RS-232 controller. Okay, I'm not sorry, by the software. Okay, the software is available to download from the website. Okay,
cool.
So that is the bypass mode, and the next one is what we call AC mode. So AC mode, you see the blue line, you know, it flow from AC in, and then you rectify the voltage, you charge the battery, and then it invert to AC, and then it go to the low. Okay, so this is what really a double conversion now, and so under this mode, okay, the AC is efficiency is not that high, okay, because there's a loss between the rectifier and inverter, okay, but the transfer time is 0. Okay, the transfer time meaning when there's a power outage, okay, for the load won't see any loss of power in any second. Okay, how it happened? Okay, like I mentioned earlier, how they do it is that the battery, okay, this this products require a high voltage battery. Okay, you put in like 20 12 volt battery, it's become like a 240 volt. Okay, that 240 volt is basically on top or in parallel with the inverter input. Okay, it's always there. Okay, that's why when AC is out, the battery voltage become a high line voltage, a bulk voltage for the inverter, and therefore there's no transfer time loss. The inverter always operate. Okay, that's how it's make it to zero time transfer. And so under this mode, it can set the constant voltage, set the constant frequency, like I mentioned earlier. If you have 208 input, you can set the unit to output 240. So it become like a transformer as well, basically step up transformer. And under this mode, what it is used for is usually for power, basically for power outage. When you have power outage, and when you have very dirty power, you don't want it to be in bypass mode. This is the mode you want to set the unit to.
Okay. So basically, when there's a power outage, the battery will automatically switch on. There's no loss of power.
No loss of time.
Okay.
Okay, no loss of time. Okay. The next one is the eco mode. Okay, eco mode, it's basically the combination between the AC mode and the bypass mode. Okay, so you see the blue line on the top one, it's always in bypass. Okay, and then anything happen outside of bypass range, it's going to go into the inverting mode. Okay, and if power outage, it's going to go to a battery mode. Okay, and similar to the eco mode is bypass mode, you can set the high loss, low loss. Okay, high frequency, low frequency. Okay.
So we have bypass mode, AC mode, and eco mode. I'm counting 3 different types of modes you can configure this device to.
Yes.
What's the user interface and control panel you're using to adjust these modes?
The LCD display can do.
Okay.
The software by RS-232 by UPS allow you to do all this setting.
And our users can just download the software from our website?
Yeah, it's available on our website. Okay.
Cool.
Here is how you make connection. It's usually provided with the terminal block. Okay, and you see the battery, like I say, you have 10 to 20 of them stacked in series. Okay, to make the high boost voltage. And then on the right hand side is terminal block where you have to connect your AC power coming in. Okay, that's how the AC and battery connection. Okay, and all the is a communication RS and then some breaker as well in the back of the unit. Okay.
Yeah, so if you're looking at our new energy storage online UPS, you're most likely to deploy this product in a data center environment. So this UPS serves as a point of control between the grid and your hardware equipment for IT infrastructure. So your servers, mainframes, switches, and firewalls. As you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, it's best to deploy the rack form factor, so the RL, if you have less space and a more centralized setup for power and IT management. On the right here, you see the use case Brian mentioned earlier with, this is, I think, 32 different batteries. So if you have more space, more room for batteries, and a decentralized setup for power and IT equipment, you should deploy the tower form factor, the TL.
Yeah, so you see, photo on the right, that's how people do it. They have a rack and then they put all the battery in there. Okay, and very popular. I mean, application is that data center is one of the more popular for this type of online UPS. Okay. The next product line is portable energy storage. Okay, we also call them the ES. Okay, energy storage ES series. That's S. This product series, I think you guys seen them. It's not like it's not something new. It's just you see them on Amazon. So meanwhile, we have 3 models: the 500, 1000, and 2200. Okay, what does that mean? Is 500 watt hour, 1000 watt hour, and 2000 watt hour. Okay, what does that mean? Is that if you load for the 1000 watt hour, for example, if you load a 1000 watt hour of it, it only lasts 1 hour. Okay, and the battery, of course, the lithium-ion battery, and then it can withstand minimum 4000 cycle. Okay, you can charge and discharge minimum 4000 cycle. Just like the online UPS AC input, okay, AC in, AC out, okay, it also have DC out as well. In US here, it has 100 to 120, and max input current is 110 amp. Okay, it pull max, only max. Okay, 10 amp max, and then on the output side, it has a transfer time loss of 20 milliseconds. Okay, this one has 20 millisecond time loss. So because people doesn't expect you to use something like industrial, just like a home new appliance. So there's a loss on this, and it can do, but however, it can do like 24,000 watt peak power for 300 milliseconds. Okay, that's the AC output, and the DC output, it has the USB-C and then USB-A 2-port, and then also the car charger, the DC 5525. Okay, and one of the feature, one of the thing I want to mention about this unit is that it's a bypass mode product. It's always operate in a, when you plug in AC, it's always operate in a bypass mode, and it's low priority, meaning that if you load it, when you plug it in, it's always charge the battery unless the battery is full. But when you load it, it's always supporting the load first until you overload it. Okay, until you over 10 amp, it's gonna foul out. Okay.
Now, what's that I see on the bottom there? Is that a QR code?
Yes, The QR code. One nice thing about this one is it's also can be controlled and monitored by the app, cell phone app. So if you scan this QR code, you can download the app, and then you can pair with the energy the power bank.
Yeah, I see the mobile app on the screen there, and that's really cool. The mobile app even shows you the battery percentage left on the device. Speaking of batteries, if for those of you in the audience, if you're going to be at the battery show in Detroit in October, we're actually giving away one free portable power station to one lucky winner in a raffle. No worries, we're shipping this home to you free of charge. You don't have to walk through TSA with a lithium-ion battery.
Yeah, they don't let you up. I think you can only bring maximum 100 watt-hour to the airplane. They don't allow you to bring that high. Okay.
Right.
So, but we'll ship it to them. Anyway, so that is the ES. So it's a portable product. Okay. Easy to use. Okay. As compared to the online UPS. Okay. Here is the charging. So I mentioned about charger. So user can charge them by AC charge, or by solar charge, or by the car charger. AC it pull max 10 amp, 120 watt, and then DC is pull 800 watt max. Okay, but AC is priority. Okay, it will charge AC. If you have both AC and DC, it will do the AC charge. Okay.
So what sort of applications does this power station power then? I see, does it power solar panels? Does it send energy back into the grid?
No.
Can it charge cars?
No. This one is not grid tied.
Oh.
Okay, so it's the AC or the DC, the solar you see there it's charging the battery. It's income. It's input. It's not an output. It doesn't do grid tie.
Got it.
Okay.
So it takes energy in from the grid, solar panels, and the car charger, and it powers household applications like rice cookers, hair dryers, and laptops.
Yeah. So those are typical. I mean, next slide is some of the applications like typical people use, like out camping, you power speaker, charge your phone, market store. You can power up the light. Another one, another suggestion is we do a lot of trade show, right? You can bring this one to the trade show, okay, and then power up all the lights, the booth, so you don't even have to spend money to rent the power from the booth. Wow. Okay, so just one, you can use it multiple times, and also charge your phone, okay, and bring it back to the hotel and charge it the next day.
Yeah, that's really useful.
Yeah. So that's all for the 3 new products today. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there you have it. Thanks for joining. Thanks for viewing our new product lineup. Thanks for tuning in again, and make sure to join our next Tech Spark on the last Thursday of next month, where we will be live demoing our smart lighting system with Matter wireless dimming.
Okay.
See you next time.
Thank you.